Hi guys, my name is Jasmine DeSalle. I am an educator in English and Language Arts. I'm also a learning design student, and I'm here to show you my online digital portfolio of some of the major projects that were completed during this class. So this digital portfolio can be found on jasminedesell.weebly.com. So this is the work that was most of the projects or main projects that was done for the current topics in learning with technology. That's the LTDE 5317. And this first project is actually a project where it has the wrong, this project, I'll just go ahead and click on it here. It's actually a presentation. This presentation goes over the TPAC and SAMR for designing employee training. And so this presentation was mainly about implementing the TPACT and SAMR framework into employee training. So not necessarily coming up with employee training from scratch or starting all over. It's just taking what was already established and just putting it more into the TPAC and SAMR framework or lens. So it says, why should you adopt a TPAC and SAMR framework? And basically, it's to increase employee performance, which in turn increases revenue. So that was pretty much my selling point here for this particular company or whatever company I was supposed to be presenting this to. So theoretically, well, I guess hypothetically speaking, I would present this to a company to kind of persuade them into incorporating or implementing these two frameworks into their employee training. So my selling point was driving revenue. And so that's a direct correlation to increasing the employee performance. And so to increase employee performance, how does TPAC and SAMR pretty much guarantee those results? It says because it's science based. It says that it creates optimal training. And then I have these other slides that specifically goes into each and every part of TPAC as well as the SAMR. It goes into every detail. It just kind of breaks it down in very small parts, and then we put it back together to create a clear and precise picture of what TPAC and also SAMR entails and how it actually increases employee performance. So, all right, so that was pretty much it for that particular assignment. All right, so next is a website called Freckle. So this is actually an adaptive learning resource that educators can use. And this is my tutorial. So I actually uploaded up a tutorial explaining how to go through Freckle and explaining the different parts of it, the capabilities, how to set up the account, and things like that. To log in. So it's and you can create your account with just. So it's a detailed video of how to log on to Freckle, how to create the account, how to set up the classes. It goes into detail. Every single part of Freckle is right here in this tutorial, down to how to assign a particular lesson. It's very, very detailed. Okay, so next we have here, this is my, I have a Kahoot. I created a Kahoot um, for my adaptive unit. So we had to create an entire unit. A part of that unit was an adaptive, coming up with an adaptive learning activity. And this is my Kahoot activity. All right. So here is the final project. This is our actual unit, the entire unit. So this is my figurative language adaptive unit, and it goes over every detail of the unit. So the teak. Okay, this will be for sixth grade. I am actually a sixth grade English teacher. So I actually use a sixth grade TEK. This is English and Language Arts again. And this TEK specifically focuses on figurative language, such as, like it says, the metaphor, personification, and all of those things. But more importantly, it not only goes over the recognition of the different types of figurative language, but also analyzing and inferring what the author means through the author's message and the inferred message um, that the author is trying to give to the reader through the use of figurative language. So I have my learning objectives here. I have four. The first one says students will learn how to identify figurative language. So we talked about that just now. Students will understand how to use background knowledge to analyze the figurative language. And then three, students will understand the difference in impact that figurative language versus literal language have on the reader's understanding of the text. So we know that figurative language has a much more profound impact on the readers in terms of connecting our emotions to through the use of figurative language, giving us more details. The author is able to emphasize more ideas and messages through figurative language versus speaking in just a literal sense. So number four, students will learn how to incorporate figurative language in their own learning. So that's the application. So so it goes from, this is also why it's adaptive. So it's going to go from, but adaptive it's a little bit more complicated, but just in a general sense, it's going to go from the very basic level all the way up to the higher level when we start to analyze. So basic recognition and things like that, and then number four, we're actually applying our learning. Okay, so now I have my four essential questions there, and then I have the activities from day one all the way down to day 5. And then I have my authentic assessment piece, which is another application, basically taking the learning skills, and applying it. And coming up with an assessment for their classmates instead of the students taking an assessment, which is something that they did do throughout the unit for practice and kind of like an informal assessment to see where the students were, and just information for the teacher in terms of reteaching a skill or whatever needed to be done. Well, in the end, the students are applying. So takes much higher level thinking. They are actually coming up with the assessments for their classmates. And then here's my rubric. To the rubric, this is actually for the presentation itself. And here are my resources. Thank you. I hope that this digital portfolio, if you have to go and reference it, I hope it's a very useful tool. And thank you.